Zombie movies are like their main characters, simply impossible to get dead. Time and again, a surge of new movies brings the undead back into modern cinema. The go-ahead for the next zombie revival could come from the sequel to a true classic, 28 years later. And Cillian Murphy is also back with a surprising appearance. Find out all about it now in our new original episode. In 2002, Danny Boyle directed 28 Days Later, an innovative zombie shocker that proved very popular with fans. With a modest budget of just $8 million, it grossed over $84 million globally, a huge success. It also revitalized the entire genre. For the first time, zombies were able to run. Even if they are technically not traditional zombies, but so-called infected, the impact on future movies, such as Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, should not be underestimated. 5 years later, the sequel 28 Weeks Later followed, also a success, but without the involvement of Danny Boyle and lead actor Cillian Murphy. This is set to change with the next movie, however. The filmmakers of 28 Years Later have big plans. 3 new movies are to be produced. As with 28 Days Later, the scripts will once again be written by Alex Garland. He was also responsible for work such as Ex Machina and Civil War, and worked with Danny Boyle on the science fiction film Sunshine as well. Boyle will likewise direct 28 Years Later. The second movie will be directed by Nia DaCosta, the director of the Candyman remake. Based on initial information, the budget for the new trilogy is estimated at $225 million, around $75 million per film. That is significantly more than the previous movies. Whether the budget will also have an effect on the look remains to be seen. After all, parts 1 and 2 were notable for their use of handheld cameras, which contributed greatly towards the realistic atmosphere. 28 Years Later will feature a remarkable cast. In April 2024, a whole trio of actors was announced who will take on pivotal roles. The trio consists of Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Ralph Fiennes, and Jodie Comer. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier actress Erin Kellyman and Jack O'Connell will also be part of the project. But what about Cillian Murphy? After much speculation, Sony Pictures CEO Thomas Rothman confirmed that Murphy will return in his role as bike courier Jim, in addition to his function as producer. This is to happen in a, quote, surprising way. What exactly he means by this remains unclear for now. Of course, it could be that we learn more about Jim after the events of Part 1. Then again, it could simply be a cameo appearance. A return to the zombie franchise is also likely to be of particular significance for Murphy. After all, he celebrated his breakthrough as an actor with 28 Days Later. As the title suggests, the story is set 28 years after the outbreak of the pandemic. That is, of course, a considerable amount of time after the alleged end of the world. In an interview with Real Blend, screenwriter Alex Garland went into more detail about the story for the first time and revealed that one of the core themes is indeed the passing of time. This is to be the key element of the new film, whatever that may mean. The idea provides some exciting starting points. How does one come to terms with a lost world in the long term? Are there newly formed societies? And how do they function? What are the rules and measures to protect oneself from the rage virus and the infected? Or has the pandemic even been contained and is now threatening to break out again? It might also be exciting to see how people live with the decisions they made in the chaos of the early days. The possibilities are certainly endless. Filming began on May 7, 2024 in England. According to Variety, 28 Years Later is set to hit theaters next year, on June 20th, 2025 to be precise. And we won't have to wait too long for the other movies either. Work on the next installment is set to directly tie in with the previous shoot. An official title is not known yet, but the film has been registered with the United States Copyright Office as 28 Years Later Part 2, The Bone Temple. What do you think? Is the late sequel to the 28 series a good idea? Or are you tired of seeing zombies? And why is there no 28 months later? We're looking forward to reading your comments.